Here we have the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3, and let's start off by talking about a couple of tips and tricks here. So first of all, we have the side fingerprint scanner here, and one thing I suggest is that you go into your settings and you enable always on for the fingerprint scanner, so when you touch it, it just unlocks instead of having to hit it to wake it up and then touch it. The next suggestion I would say is to enable the fingerprint scanner gestures so that you can swipe down on it to bring down the notification center panel and the quick settings. It's really handy when you're inside an app, you're at Chrome here and you want to change the brightness or, turn on and off orientation lock or different settings. Next thing I want to get into is the cover display. So we're going to go in here and we want to enable things under continue apps on cover. Go down in here and enable all the apps that you want, so that way when you are, let's say, using Twitter and you are in here and you're browsing and you close it, it continues right on the front. Along lines with continuing on the front, one thing I really noticed is if you're doing a lot of reading and scrolling through stuff, this outer display, even though it's smaller, is nice because as you'll see, you can see all the content here. You can see these 3 different posts where when I open it up, you'll notice that it's limited to 1 post, and sometimes with photos, you don't even see the whole photo. So if you're doing a lot of scrolling through content and reading through a lot of long form stuff, it's really nice to have this outer display. But if you want to see photos or text larger, you can kind of open it up and in here you have the ability to do so. Next, let's talk about multitasking. So, we have this outer display and it's, nice for using a single app. And yes, you can do things like split 2 apps on the outer display. The real advantage of having this folding device is being able to open it up and have multiple apps side by side. And to do so, I really like to use the edge panel here. One new thing is if you go into the lab settings, you can enable the ability to pin it. By doing so, it gives you this edge panel docked here, almost like your dock on a Mac or the toolbar on a Windows computer. So if I am going between Twitter and let's say maybe Telegram conversations, YouTube conversation, Instagram, and watching some YouTube, easily being able to do that just kind of hitting on this edge here is really nice. A little criticism I have is in order to edit that, you have to unpin it and then swipe and then hit this and then you can edit it. There is an ability to hit a button here to get to all apps. So as far as moving between things quickly without having to go to the home screen, I really like having that edge panel either there or pinned. When we get into in-depth multitasking, if I have one app open here, I can just grab another one, drop it to the side here. Let's say I don't want them side by side, or I can hit this button here and it will put one on top, one on the bottom. That's the little circle with the double arrow. If I want to flip the order of them, hit the 2 arrows. And then if that other icon, if you hit that, it will put a pair of them over in the edge panel together so you can open that pair quickly. Another thing that we can do is we can always drag in a 3rd app here. And so you can have 1 on the bottom, 1 on the top, 2 on the bottom. Or 2 on this side, 1 on this side. Or I can drag one of these. Let's see here. You can change the orientation of them around. 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom. Now hit it again, and 2 on this side, 1 on this. So it kind of rotates them in a clockwise order around. And if you want to close one of them, you can just grab the dots between and slide it one way or the other, and you're back out. So that is multitasking. Of course, we all know if you are using YouTube and you have a video playing, let me go to one of mine so I don't have any copyright issues here. Let me turn the volume down so we don't get blown out with that. So let's say you're watching this video about privacy, you can always swipe and, have it there. Another tip on multitasking that I always forget about is the ability to open in pop-up view so that you can kind of float it over. And this is really nice for things like YouTube. So I'll go back to YouTube again, and I have this video playing to be able to, instead of having it in picture-in-picture, having it in that pop-up view allows me to resize it where the option to do it in picture-in-picture is locked to that one size. Next, I want to talk about the cameras. And as you'll see, there is the inside camera that is somewhat visible there. See if I can get it on camera. There we go. Let me show you what that kind of looks like on camera. As you'll see, it's not the greatest. I recommend this more for video chat than I would for taking selfies. And while some people may wish that they had gone with a higher resolution camera on the inside, I think that this device they've been working on long enough that the newer under-display camera with the higher resolution was probably not out yet when they were developing and producing the software and hardware for this. And hopefully we see that next year. But the front camera here is really nice. And there is an option to hit this button here. You will see, if I open it and I go back into you will see the ability to close that out. Let's see. Go back to the cameras here on the inside cameras. And if I hit this little button here, it allows you to use the back cameras on the front display to take photos. And there is a hand gesture. If I put my hand up here, it senses that, it takes a photo. I can go, and there's a lovely photo using the rear cameras to take a selfie. Another thing we want to get into with the cameras that is quite nice is the ability to flex like this, and you'll see that whenever I take a photo here, so I'm just going to take a random photo of my box here, that the shot immediately pops up over here. Of course, I can click on it and make it go full screen. The other nice thing about that is being able to prop up the cameras like this to use it like a tripod. So let's say I'm out and about and I want to take a photo of, let's say, this camera here. In order to hold still, I can, let's say, go to the ultra wide camera here and just use it like a tripod. Let me bring you guys up here so you can see now it's functioning like a tripod. And there's the ability to use those same hand gestures to have it take a photo. And also, of course, if you have the S Pen Pro that has Bluetooth, there are those Bluetooth gestures as well. Other apps that are really nice to use that same function for are YouTube. So I'm going to go into the settings here, and I am going to go into advanced features, and you'll see under labs, flex mode panel, enable this for any of the apps that you want to be able to have this option for, and I'll show you what it does. So if I'm in YouTube here, and I am again watching a video, and I want to be able to kind of browse through the comments, if I flip it up like this, you'll see the video goes up here, and everything else is down here, and I can scroll through, I can reply to comments. If you're watching a live stream, it's really nice because you get the full screen view up here, and then your comments and everything are down here. Hit like that again, and you kind of have everything to the side there, and the comments are way down below. So that's kind of some of the multitasking tips and tricks there. Next, I want to talk about the durability. So far, I haven't really had any concerns with durability. I've noticed that the display feels really nice. It doesn't feel as oily as I had the original Fold, and I got to also mess with the Z Fold 2 buddy of mine had, and it seems to be that the inner display has really been made to feel nicer and cleaner with whatever the new screen protector that they're using there is. And also, I will say that if you do not know this, the outer display actually came with a screen protector pre-applied. I did remove it as it was kind of getting in the way on the edge there. It kind of felt rough along the edge on my finger, swiping in for gestures. When I put the case on here, it tended to cause the edge to bubble up a little bit. The next thing I want to talk about, and I don't have it on me right now, is the S Pen and how nice it is to be able to write with that and the handwriting dictation. So my initial thoughts after using this device for the last 3 days are that for somebody like me coming from a Note 20 Ultra and iPhone, it is a really nice device to have for multitasking with even more real estate, and for watching videos, for participating in live streams, for editing and creating content, and just as like a business person, the ability to have your email and chat and Zoom call or chat up at the same time, ability to connect it to your computer for decks and prop up that and be in a video chat. These are things that I will cover in specific videos focused on each region and each particular aspect. If you like this video and you want to see more content about the Z Fold 3 and other tech, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.